eat something too.
So basically this is what pragmatics is about. What we say
I want to eat something
versus what we think. Versus what we want to happen with the language. The perlocutionary act is what we want to happen with the language. The illocutionary act is what we think. And the locutionary act is what we say.
We can define speech acts as the action performed by the speaker with an utterance. When an interrogative structure such as "what did you?" is used with the function of a question, this is called direct speech.
So, tell me, what did you do yesterday?
Oh, not much. I stayed at home and watched some movies like Cinderella, Peter Pan.
That's great!
Yeah, it's excellent actually. Those were great movies.
I know.
On the other hand, if we ask, "Is the seat taken?" In this second example, we are using a syntactic structure associated with the function of a question, but in this case, with the function of a request. This is indirect speech.
Excuse me, is the seat taken?
Oh no, sorry.
Thank you.
One of the elements of pragmatics is the anaphora. Anaphora is the use of a pronoun or other linguistic unit to refer back to another word or phrase. You need to look backwards to understand.
So yesterday I had a fight with my mom. She's so annoying, like sometimes she just cannot listen to me.
I understand.
The anaphora can be compared with cataphoric reference, which means a word refers to ideas later in the text, and you need to look forward to understand.
She's always putting on my dresses. She's always taking my panties.
I know.
My sister takes everything from me and never gets them back.
I got it.
We can define reference as an act by which a speaker or writer uses language to enable the listener or reader to identify something. Inference is an additional information used by the listener to create a connection between what is said and what must be meant. In pragmatics, we also have deixis. These are words that cannot be interpreted at all if we don't know the context. These words are here, there, this, that, now, yesterday, you, he, etc.
On this exact same spot is where she told me she had a girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah, she did, and then we were walking towards there, and she was like, "I don't want to go out with you. I don't want to have anything to do with you. Like, bye, boy."
Oh my gosh. Hey, by the way, how much is this t-shirt?
I don't know. It was a gift from my mom.
Oh, but it looks nice. I really like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Finally, a presupposition is when we design our linguistic messages on the basis of large-scale assumptions about what our listeners already know.
Hey, Eugenia, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine. You?
I'm great. Remember I told you I was going to see that movie?
How was it?
It was great, especially the part where Candice just throws the arrow at the plane. I was living for that.
Love it too. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was marvelous. The lexical cohesive devices such as repetition, synonymy, hyponymy, meronymy, and collocations are the elements that give a text its sense.
So, the test you are seeing right now, it is called visual fight on the visuals, in which it will be identified some lexical cohesive devices.
The first lexical cohesive device is repetition. Repetition is a word that is repeated several times throughout the text. In the text, we have "we show" as repetition.
The second cohesive device is hyponymy, which be a kind of. For example, champeta is a kind of music. In the test, we have fields, streets, landing grounds, islands, and tracts are kind of soils.
Then we have meronymy, which is be part of. For example, in the text, we have beaches are part of islands.
The next cohesive device is collocations. Collocations are words that goes together just because they were together since long time ago. In the test, we have be able to and try to do.
Synonyms are words or phrases that have the similar or the same meaning in the same language. For example, car and automobile, and mad and upset.
The last cohesive device is antonyms, which are words or phrases that have the opposite meaning. For example, strong with weak and liar with honest. In the same test, it will be identify the elements of register. But first, what is register? According to Pons in 1985, register it is useful to interpret the social context of a test, the environment in which meanings are being exchanged. Now that we know what is register, we are gonna talk about the elements of it. The first one is field, the second one is mode, and the other one is tenor.
Feel is what you're talking about. The feel determines the nature of the vocabulary. The feel in this text is a word that is going to be fought on the beaches. The vocabulary in this text is non-specialized vocabulary, since it can be used in this field or in other.
The tenor is the relationship between the participants. In the test, as we can see, the relationship between the reader and the writer is an equal relationship, since the author addresses himself as we. Also, the grammar structure is formal, and the distance between the reader and the writer is neutral.
The mode is the channel of communication. It could be written or spoken. The channel could be written to be read loud or not. Written as it were spoken, such as transcripts of genuine dialogues, could be also spoken from reading, like speeches, and it could be spoken spontaneously. In this text, the channel is spoken from reading, since the original text is a speech.
The other aspect included in mode is the role. It could be ancillary or constitutive. The ancillary is when language is not necessary, just the gestures, and constitutive is where the language is necessary. So the test has a constitutive role since the language is necessary. The direction between the author and the reader is unidirectional since the author is not expecting an answer from the reader. Now, we're going to talk about cooperation in communication. Basically, communication is a cooperative activity because when two people communicate, it's their responsibility and interest to keep the conversation going smoothly. When we are speakers, we have to follow some rules that Paul Grice gave us. He called them the cooperative principle. And it has 4 maxims. And when we are listeners, we assume that the speaker is following these maxims. The first maxim is quality, which is related to being true. The second maxim is quantity, which is related to give information that is brief, no more or no less, just the appropriate information in terms of quantity. The third maxim is relation, which is being relevant. And the last maxim is manner, which is being clear. Conversational implicature is when the speaker chooses to refuse to use a maxim. In other words, he or she chooses to flout it. Maxim could be flouted intentionally or unintentionally. When it's intentionally, it means that the speaker has other intentions, which means other meanings. Who is she?
She's a person.
Uh-huh.
Hey, how was your mother? I heard she was in
What
the
is
hospital.
your relationship with her?
We met 3 years ago when we were in college. I remember it was in this classroom that we were like 30 people in there, and you know,
I don't care. Who is she?
she's a friend.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's a friend of mine. We've known each other for so long, like.
Yeah.
Damn.